Welcome to Mad Talk Sports, episode 57. Drake, what's up?
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Joe, how are you doing?
Like we discussed before coming on, starting of a new, let's call it routine that I'm adjusting to. So I am tired, but I am ready to go.
Always ready. Got to stay ready. What's the title of the episode, Joe?
Ready. Just going to be tradition now. I got to always make these beforehand. Dodgeball.
Look at that.
Look at this graphic.
Graphic.
Isn't it fire?
It's so nice.
The red just pops at you, and I didn't know which players I was going to put on here. And then I was like, just looking through ones I had set up on Canva. And I'm like, which ones look like they can be holding a dodgeball was my criteria. So
Jokic.
He's just like, I didn't know we were playing dodgeball. Dodge, duck.
I can't pass this to a teammate.
Right. Yep. you throw it. You hit him. So, yeah, I don't think he'll be getting picked when we do a dodgeball draft later, but that's the title, and it's based off of obviously the Pro Bowl, when they play dodgeball. Thought that would be a fun twist to add on, but we mostly got to talk about the title games in the NFL this past weekend. We do have a segment of Your Mad Bro or You Mad Bro, and obviously we got our medalists as we always do. We're going to hold the Super Bowl talk until next week.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bye week, so.
Kind of. Not a filler week, but a fun week. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no games this week, so.
Dodgeball game.
Just dodgeball, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so no game.
Yeah. Flag.
All right. Well, before we start actually talking ball and going into the games themselves, let's quickly go through some shout-outs. The medalists.
Do you just want to list them off, all three, like we did last week? Or
I mean, since we have less topics here today, we can actually take a minute to go back and forth.
All right. Well, bronze, I went just with the Chiefs defense. Yeah, I mean, they held the best offense in the league to not a good game. So, and we're going to talk about it later in depth, but Chiefs defense got my bronze.
There's a lot of people to give shout outs to on that defense. So I like that.
Yeah.
For my bronze, I went with Christian McCaffrey. Just always a game changer. No matter what.
Dog.
He's dog. Now for silver, I gave a specific shout out for the Chiefs defense, and that's Snead, L'Jarius Sneed. He that punch out on Zay Flowers, that was the difference in the game, really.
Yep. I mean, McDuffie played very well too, and
yeah,
I just had to give it to the whole thing. But my silver, I gave it to Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
game changer. He had a hell of a game. So,
which was important because the trenches, being able to get there, it took a while. It was once they'd stopped the run. We'll get into it later. All right.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm kind of not,
talking
super brief, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then gold, Travis Kelce.
I mean, yeah, he had an excellent game.
Yeah.
He just came out on fire. What was it, 11 catches?
All 11 targets, 11 catches, 100-something yards.
Yeah.
And a touchdown.
Yeah. That's and he passed Jerry Rice for most touchdowns, most yards in the postseason, something like that, which is one of those records that you never think would get broken. So that's a good pick. I double dipped on the Chiefs defense and went with Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, because beyond all the players that balled out, man, he put together a hell of a scheme, and we're gonna talk about that more later. But every now and again, want to give the defensive coach some love.
They had a great game plan against, like I said, the best offense during the season. So, good pick.
Well, let's talk about it then. Let's talk ball. We're right on the doorstep to talk about the conference championships.
Speaking of that, the Ravens, like I said, they had the best rushing offense. They had the best offense, but they had the best rushing offense, and they ran the ball 11 times against one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. Obviously, come playoffs, it's different, but a best rushing offense versus one of the worst rushing offenses, worst rushing defenses, and you run 11 times.
Yeah. But the reason that happened is Kansas City dictated what they would let Baltimore run. They would fill a man in every gap to where the Ravens were just scared to run on the front because they're like, I don't like these numbers. They're daring us to pass. And when you dare someone to pass and you got 2 lockdown corners on the back end and a great safety in Justin Reed who doesn't get enough love, like that was the right game plan. Like, let's load the box and trust our guys on the back end. And it scared the Ravens right out of the run game. Because like you said, it did work though, when, even though they're the best running team in the league for a reason. Like one of the best in recent years, actually. So credit to the Chiefs though, for throwing them off their A game.
And, you giving your medal to the DC, like,
it's exactly
well-deserving. Exactly. 100%. But man, the Chiefs in the playoffs, man, it really is just a different breed, different animal. Like, the fact that they were so mid in the regular season and now they're in the Super Bowl.
So about like a month and a half ago, it was episode 52. So yeah, about like a month and some change. It was me and Kyle on for the last episode of 2023. And we talked about the Chiefs because they had just lost to the Raiders on Christmas. And we talked about them, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. And we said, which contenders' problems are most concerning and like least likely to be fixed? And, Kyle said that the Chiefs had major problems. I said they had major problems. But what I said, I actually wrote it down. I didn't have time to make the clip. But I said, I've seen enough Tom Brady Patriot teams to know that Kansas City now can look like shit on offense all year and then make the playoffs and win 20-17, 20-17, and get somehow end in the Super Bowl. And then I finished it with saying, but that'll be tough because they're going to have to play teams like the Ravens and the Bills and the Dolphins. Holy check, dude, playoff Chiefs.
It's, like I said, it's a different animal. Like, Patrick Mahomes, I don't. It's so hard to wrap my head. Like, dude, he's been a starter for what? 6 years? 6 years? 6 years? And he's been in the Super Bowl 4 times.
And the AFC Championship 6 times.
Exactly. Like, and he lost to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and Joe Burrow.
Those are the only 2 quarterbacks that have beaten him in the playoffs. Now, obviously, to be fair, they only scored 17 points this game. So it's not like he's like, just carrying them as the undisputed best of all time or anything like that. But I've seen Aaron Rodgers lose that game, of where the defense plays great. I've seen Drew Brees lose that game. I've seen Peyton lose that game. Like, credit.
Haven't seen Tom lose that game, but
no, he always wins 13-6 or whatever.
I know.
13-3.
So, but yeah,
this team's kind of like that Patriots team that won it all that way. If you think about it, like that offense was, Brady throws it to Gronk to get a nice play every now and again, but otherwise they play through the run and they don't turn the ball over and they got an elite defense. That works. That's how most Super Bowls have been won.
Yeah. And that, like you just said, that's how most Super Bowls are won. And that's the narrative, I guess. That's the success story. Except, on the other side of it, talked about the Chiefs, but like the Ravens were both of our Super Bowl pick and they just beat themselves. Like,
I agree. Like Zay Flowers, he balled, man, but they got in his head. He looked like a rookie. I mean, it was obviously he is. I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, but like he is a rookie. So
it was the difference between, talent and prestige in some ways. Like the Ravens are the better team. I strongly believe.
100%.
Like I think if they got a rematch today, I think they'd win. But in a do or die, win or go home, the Chiefs experience, that championship pedigree, like I said in a half-baked take, like the Ravens kind of wilted away when put to the fire.
And the Chiefs, like you said, that they've been there. They have that experience. The Ravens don't. Lamar doesn't. Lamar looked awful.
Yeah.
Like he just did not know what to do against a defense that played. And
it looked like he was playing the Steelers.
Really? Because we would have won that game too.
Probably.
And, yeah, we would
somehow,
some way.
And then lost to the Patriots the next week.
All right. You know what?
Continue.
That's a wrap for episode 57. Everybody, thank you. But yeah, it was. And you know what? I didn't like those calls, but
penalties?
Yeah, they wouldn't have changed the game, but I just don't like them.
You know how I feel.
They were two pass interferences, bro. They were two pass interferences, bro. Blatant. Like, come on. But yeah, the Ravens lost the game. Those calls didn't lose the game, but they were just bad calls.
They were the better team. They were supposed to dominate that game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Instead, they got dominated. I just can't. Whatever. We'll talk about that later, too.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so on the Ravens side, now they lose. Mike McDonald goes over to Seattle to be their head coach.
That's an L for the Ravens.
Yeah, that you're losing one of your key cogs. What do you think about this team moving forward? How optimistic should they be, or are they like the Bills last week where it's like, you blew it, dude?
I mean, I think they'll be fine. They'll virtually have the same team unless they end up like the Eagles did this year, and losing the coordinators hurts you very bad. But I think roster-wise, they'll be the same team pretty much. I mean, I don't know about their like cap space roster, that type of stuff. Like, I don't know who's a free agent. I don't know who they can and can't pay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that everyone will be back, I believe.
Yeah, I think, and they've got a young core, so talent-wise for sure. But two things can be true. They can still be back, but they did blow their best chance.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the fact that everyone else in the AFC is getting better too. The Chargers could be emerging as another, thorny team that can get in your side. Maybe the Jags step back. The Texans should get better. The Chiefs should actually get better, which is kind of crazy too. Outside of that, you never know what the Jets might turn into if they get a healthy Aaron Rodgers. And I feel like I'm missing Joe Burrow. He's not going to be hurt every year. Like, this is a stacked conference. Like, you have to take advantage of your opportunities, and we'll get, because like Dan Campbell said it back, and we'll get it to that in that game, but you don't know how many of those chances you get.
You're also missing the fact that we have the toughest division in football. So,
oh yeah, and yeah, who knows? Steelers may eventually
very well lose. They could very well lose the division. The Browns will get better.
Theoretically, yeah.
So yeah.
I think the Colts might be ascending. Like, this is a tough conference. It's like, how many teams can you say you're not afraid of?
And
Broncos, Raiders, I don't know, Patriots.
I mean, never mind. I don't want to talk about the Broncos. But and the Ravens are known to, we've said it before, they are known to do what they did. So
yeah, that's another thing about this game that I think the Chiefs punched them in the mouth, and the Ravens hadn't been punched in the mouth in a long time, and certainly not in a game that mattered all year long. So once they got that, they did not respond well. We talked about Flowers, and he, does the taunting penalty when they finally seemed like they had juice. And then he follows it up with diving for the end zone. You got to know who your team is. You think you get four tries with Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and that whole O-line, 4 tries to get a half a yard, you're getting in. Like, no need to take that risky play diving for the end zone, which obviously cost them in the end, probably cost them a chance at sending this to OT. Not only that, he slams his hand on the ground afterwards or on the bench or whatever, cuts his hand up. And you could see Nelson Aguilar getting like frustrated about things. You see Lamar Jackson visibly frustrated. Just negativity spread so fast on Baltimore's side as the game went on, and no one was able to correct it. No one at any point.
No, and yeah, that's the safe man. You see Joe Burrow tweet, let the players taunt.
Did he really?
Yeah, right as that happened, he tweeted, "Let players taunt."
Wow.
I mean,
that was.
I don't think
a line.
I mean, well, there's a line, yeah, but like,
but I think that's a separate conversation, though.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I agree. Let players taunt, but there's a line for sure. Like, do I think what Zay Flowers did should have been a penalty in 15 yards? No. But
I mean,
it is. So I guess, whatever.
Right. It's so they know the rules, but also it's a fine line to walk with that. Like,
dude, when you are locked in and you just do something, like you played the game, you do something like,
yeah, do it smart. Do it like Jair did to Justin Jefferson last year, where he grittied the other way on him. Like, just be smart, man. You could wiggle between the rules to taunt, like you just can.
Yeah.
You don't. Come on, it's like the most obvious one you could do.
Corners taunt. They don't get penalized. I feel like that's the one position where it's like acceptable, I guess. Like
corners,
being a corner.
Like, gotta dish it out. Like, if you dish it out, you gotta be willing to take it type deal.
Yeah. Because like, how many corners do you see seatbelting? Come on. Isn't this standing over a receiver who's on the ground who just dropped a pass and you're like this? That's a taunt, right? In theory. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't say it is, but like in theory, like, how come a receiver can't, I don't know.
Why is it we have these games and then at the end of the day, we're always talking about penalties and the refs? Like, come on, man.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a separate topic, like you said.
Taunting Joe Burrow just wants to be able to taunt somebody, apparently.
I guess, yeah. Taunting as a whole, not even just like the Ravens game, like I just think is separate topic, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I think the Ravens just took a fat L and didn't know what to do against the Chiefs.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
and Lamar played terrible. Lamar played horrible.
He definitely missed some throws, and I think he got in his own head where there were rush lanes that he turned down. So all in all, it was it could have been a lot better.
Lamar played how you wanted Brock Purdy to play.
So we're going to go to the Brock Purdy route already, huh? Does that mean time to talk about the next game?
The NFC, man.
All right. Well, I do have some Brock Purdy stuff I do want to talk. But in the game in general, Lions followed the Packers script, man. They came out with a great game plan. They ran the ball well. Defense made enough plays. And at first I was like, it's going to work. They're cashing in. And then
Me too.
And then they just they didn't take their foot off the gas. They like broke the gas pedal by stepping on it too hard.
I just want to say, like, I still respect the hell out of Dan Campbell.
I agree.
He got a lot of hate for going for it twice. But hindsight, yeah, like, okay, kick it. But that specific situation is exactly what got them in the situation that they were in this year.
I agree.
So sometimes you gamble and it doesn't work. And I guess in a game like that, situational position that you're in, you should know when to gamble and when to not, when to play it safe. But they were up, and it's such a Dan Campbell thing to do. He did it. He's done it the last 2 years, and that's why they were where they were. And I don't think he deserves as much hate as he was getting for it. Because, like I said, if it would have worked, he'd have been the greatest coach of all time, and it didn't. And now it's like, fire him.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who says fire him is obviously way too far. But even I agree with you, like, he is getting too much blame for this. Like, let's not forget about the drop balls, like, on some of those plays too. I'm pretty sure one of them was on a 4th down.
Yeah,
but
the Josh Reynolds, 2 of them,
right
on the money, wide open, moving the sticks, game changing.
Exactly. So it's not like that it was the wrong decision necessarily. Like, personally, like I said to you, I'm kicking that field goal when I'm up 14
100%.
because that makes it a 3-possession game. But like you said, this is exactly the mindset that got him there. And when you're playing a team that's better than you, which I still believe the Niners were better than them, but the Lions came to play and had them on the ropes, you go for the throat. Like, you just do. That was, I think, because, like, what if you do kick the field goal and you miss? Then you look like the Packers. And then it's, oh, you guys, weren't aggressive enough down the stretch or whatever, or, relying on kicking's your own fault. Like, I don't mind the aggressive calls because that's who he is. That's the brand he's built there.
100%. And, like, no matter the situation, he couldn't win unless, obviously if it worked, if it worked. Yeah. But like, for something to go wrong, no matter what he did, if he kicked it and missed or went for it and drop pass or went for it, got sacked, whatever could have happened, he would have taken fall for it. And, I love that after the game, he stood by his decision 100% and
loved it.
Like I said, and like you said, that's what got him there. That's the culture in Detroit. That's what changed them as a franchise. So,
I mean, yeah, dude, like we even said last week, like, just the conception of what the Lions are, like, we're like, oh, we totally think they can win this game for X, Y, and Z. And they all played out that way, by the way. But we're like, we just can't picture the Lions in the Super Bowl. Like, that's that franchise. And he has to turn that around. And I think he has, at least to some degree. Like, this is already the closest they've been in 30, 40 years. Like, like, they've got one championship game appearance ever, I think. So it's massive credit that he is deserved. And this team can be back. I love his honesty, though. Like I said, like,
that was
you never know. Yeah, because the Packers are ascending and the Bears theoretically could ascend and the Vikings are not going away and the NFC won't be bad forever. Theoretically, the Eagles will figure it out. The Niners will still be good, but they definitely have a shot. They have a strong core, great rookies this year, and they get to keep both their coordinators, it seems like, too, by all indications. So that's a massive win.
The Lions, I seen something that said the Lions went 0-16 this decade or whatever it was.
08.
So decade,
15 years ago, 16,
yeah, whatever it is. And they still made it to the NFC Championship before the Cowboys.
Wow.
It's just like, that's a fact.
A good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a fact. Wow.
So who's America's team? Not the Cowboys, man.
So I heard Fur told me this the other day that the Steelers, like, originally were supposed to be, but they didn't want it. They're like, we're not America's team, we're Pittsburgh's team.
Exactly. Yeah. It was us. And then somehow the Cowboys got anointed after the Steelers were like,
no thanks. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Lions side of things. The last point I want to make on the Lions actually is about Jared Goff. So that game I thought was a really good picture of the good and the bad of Goff. Like, good in the sense of he's going to manage the hell out of that game. And when things look good, you guys are going to be dangerous. But bad in the sense that he is limited. He does have a ceiling. Like, you need everything around him to be like clockwork, because I do think he missed some throws. And I thought, like, at least like that one reverse play or pitch or whatever back to him where it was just a total noodle arm
Duck,
throw.
yeah.
That's what I told you. This is the noodle bowl because we saw a couple of throws like that in general. But for Goff, like, again, it's, you know what he is, and I think they're okay with that. But also, like, they're always going to be, like, keeping their eye open for if something else comes along.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And the pick was bad too.
Yeah.
Or 2 picks, whatever. It was bad too. Poor Jared Goff.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. I feel like the team rallies around him too, which is good. But he just doesn't have
it.
Like, I mean, he has it from like a leadership standpoint, and he can do what needs to be done, but he doesn't have it.
He's on that Kirk Cousins tier.
Yep.
In all honesty, just Kirk Cousins that's had better coaches and teams, really.
The Kirk Cousins tier is literally like Kirk Cousins tier. Like,
yeah,
everyone is under Kirk Cousins, but they're above like Kenny Pickett.
Way above.
Way above. Super above.
Yep. Okay, let's pivot to the Niners.
Go ahead.
Okay. So impressive in the standpoint that a second week in a row, like, they got down, and this time down big, and had to come back in a game where the other team's game plan was better than theirs, and they had to adjust. So I'm definitely impressed by that. Jay Moody, he is a total liability. And if you remember, I think it was like week 2, I said,
Yep.
These teams are going to regret not prioritizing kickers. And I think we're really actually seeing that. And I included the Packers and the Niners in that equation. But so that's part of it. Again, credit standpoint, the defense, I thought, played pretty bad early on, but then buckled down when it absolutely needed to, once they could play free, more free, less worried about the run game. On offense, they committed to the run game, which I think was the biggest thing that, like, the Ravens, for instance, did not. Brock Purdy, I think it was, again, a game where he started pretty rough and he made some bad throws, bad decisions. But then when they needed him most, he clutched up. Like, so 2 sides of the equation. I think he played a C+ game, again, 2 weeks in a row against like a C+ also defense. But with that, like, those like ending drives that he had, it kept him in like that passing range to where you're like, yep, that's about what we needed today.
I mean, respectable analysis of that game. There was something I wanted to say, and it's gone. It's gone. It literally disappeared. Great game. Yeah. I don't know where it went. It's just not there anymore.
It's gone. Purdy, running game.
Yeah, actually that's what I was gonna say. He has impressed me with his feet.
Purdy?
Yep. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Last game and this game, he's gotten out of trouble and used his feet to put them in a great spot. And it happened 3 times this week and twice last week. And it was all very needed.
Yep.
So that's where he impressed me for sure. And it was all, like I said, it was in times that it needed to be done. Like that's what he needed to do in that situation, and he did it. And did it very well.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Purdy, I agree with that. That mobility side of things is definitely where you could see like the difference between him and Jimmy G, for instance, is that Jimmy G, once you shut down those first options, he is literally useless. Like, while Purdy can still make something happen. Right. Now, again, I still don't think he played a great game, and I'm not going to anoint him because of this game. But at the very least, he's showing that he's kind of like, I'm not saying he's going to be anywhere near these guys' skill over the course of his career. I'm not saying that. Not at all. You know how I feel. But it's kind of like young Big Ben when he got to the Super Bowl, or young Tom Brady even when he got to the Super Bowl, as far as like, yeah, they're not going to blow you away each and every game, but when they need them, they're ready.
I mean, and that's 100, like that's 100% accurate. Like he's being a little more than a game manager. Like he's not. Jimmy G's a game manager.
Yeah.
100%. Alex Smith was a game manager. Purdy's doing a little more than that.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. And Tom Brady 100%, he was carried. Big Ben was carried. Like Big Ben was terrible in his first Super Bowl. Horrible.
Where?
But he did what he needed to do to make sure that they win the game.
Yeah. So
and Tom Brady, Tom Brady too, like he was carried by great defense.
Yeah. He threw one touchdown in the playoffs, his first Super Bowl run. People forget about that. Obviously he had time to develop into the GOAT, but early on he was not. He needed the right situation, which is what he had. And I will say for Purdy, I am consistently impressed with his mind for the game as far as how he makes decisions, and even just like I pointed out last week, like the adjustment he made like for the play clock. And there was something similar again this week too, where he got it all the way down to where it hit 0. And then, by the time the ref looks back, it's already snapped, like where he made last second adjustments, which that takes some intellect to do that and know your limits. So there are things I'm impressed with, and I love his mentality. Like it's honestly hard for me to not just be like, yep, this guy's going to be something special, because he's got a lot of those tools. But every week I am at least always reminded a little bit that he's still got a little just mistakiness in him that sometimes he gets away with.
And he's very humble, like,
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him and Bosa talking in the locker room, and Bosa was like, dude, did you know you were going to be this good? And he was just like, he was deflecting everything that Bosa was saying. And then finally he was just like, I can be better. Like that's something that
he can be,
you can't teach, you can't teach that.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. So that's why I think he is someone who needed to land in the right spot to have a chance to like show his good and develop in the meantime. Because like had he landed on the Jets per se, like I don't see how he would not just be like every other Jets quarterback, that just gets thrown into the fire, fails, career over.
I mean, and
we'll never know.
That's kind of what you need, right?
Yeah. Environment matters.
Every great quarterback has developed, even Patrick Mahomes. Obviously it's a different skill set, but like,
yeah,
had he ended up where he came right in and started for a team like the Bears, like, I don't think he'd be in the conversation right now where he's going to his 4th Super Bowl.
No, he might be going to his
4th team
win. No,
4th win. But, it's environment 100% does matter, and that's leading development. Like, obviously you can't develop in a terrible situation, and we've seen that with Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields, and Herbert hit a slope. Like, there's just no growth without a good environment like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe there are some people who like change the environment to some degree. Like, I think that exists too. But for most people, even like good and talented people, like you need the right environment.
I agree. And Purdy is in a great environment.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of all pros on the offense, but Brandon Ayuk was nothing before this year.
Nothing.
Dude. Nothing.
No way. Let's look up Brandon Ayuk's stats.
Go ahead.
You.
Go ahead.
Let's see.
What was he with Jimmy G?
All right, let's go. So he's about the same as last year. Last year he went 78 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. This year he went 75 catches, 1,300 yards, so more yards, 7 touchdowns.
What about with Jimmy G?
Well, half of last year was with Jimmy G, but the years before that he was like 700-800 yards and 5 touchdowns both years.
You know, not that I'm not saying Brock Purdy changed him, but I'm saying that whole offense works well because of everything that's all the pieces.
Well, because of everybody.
Yeah, all the pieces that are in place. This team would not be in the Super Bowl right now with Jimmy G. Sorry, and I will stand on that.
They probably would have lost to the Packers. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Even though we're Jimmy G intolerant.
Yeah, maybe you know what? Maybe you guys wouldn't have.
Maybe they would have ran the ball more, and because of that, had more success.
You never know, but I will, just like that episode with me and Kyle. Kyle was arguing that Purdy was the best quarterback ever in history of the NFL, and I was arguing that he's better than Jimmy G, and you disagreed to an extent.
Yeah, I did. Now I'm happy to say that, like, yeah, sure, he's better than Jimmy G. But I still don't think he's as good as Kirk Cousins.
You never know, man.
On the team, I think they're still in the Super Bowl.
I agree, but I think he's in the Kirk Cousins tier.
I think so too. But Kirk Cousins is king of that tier.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Captain Kirk. Well, do you have anything to add on that game?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let's transition to you mad, bro? It's been a little while. And
it's been a little while.
It has been. This is kind of like a breaking news version because we just saw 2 coaching hires for our Homer teams a week after we did the Homer segment. So maybe we should have saved that. But Drake, the Steelers have hired Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator. Are you mad?
Initially when you see that, you're like, dude, like, are you kidding me? Like, obviously he's not the most eye appealing that I would have wanted. But you know what? I can't knock it yet because
don't knock it till you try it.
He had success as an offensive coordinator, and there's plenty of offensive coordinators that go into head coaching jobs and don't succeed.
Yeah.
He was a good offensive coordinator for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill had a career year under Arthur Smith. The Titans were a playoff team under Arthur Smith, and then he goes 1 seed, and then he goes to Atlanta as a head coach, and the Falcons were always feisty. You know, they were what I thought the Texans would be this year, every year. And it's not like he coached a 36-year-old terrible Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, and Desmond Ridder, who was benched 47 times.
It's not great.
So, just judging off of offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, grading it is a challenge for me. Like, he ticks a lot of boxes that I think we needed. He's a very run-heavy coordinator, which we needed. He's got plenty of play calling experience, which Matt Canada didn't have. I know Mike Tomlin said he wanted to, keep defenses off balance. Smith in his prime was great at that. So I mean, if we have a quarterback competition next year, depending who wins, I'd probably grade it like a B minus.
Like an 80?
Yeah, just right off the rip. That's when I would grade it. So I'm not mad. I'm not ecstatic, but I can't be mad at it yet.
Yeah.
But if, I have to, I will change that. But like I said, off the jump, I was like, absolutely not. Because just how much hate I gave him when he got fired, and I said he probably shouldn't have a job. And then all of a sudden, here we go hiring him. And then I started looking into it, and I'm like, okay, this guy, he was pretty good as an offensive coordinator. And like I said, plenty of offensive coordinators go into head coaching positions and don't succeed. It happens. And then they go back to being offensive coordinators, and you know what? That's where they belong. So maybe he's just an offensive coordinator, which is what we need. So I'm not mad. I'm not happy, but I'm not mad. Like I said, about
I'm not
80.
mad. I'm disappointed. No, if anything, it sounded like you were like, it's like one of those things where at first you're kind of mad about it, but then when someone explains it to you, you're like, all right, I still don't feel good about it, but I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, who else, like has experience like that? I mean, Brian Leftwich doesn't have a job for a reason, right? Didn't have a job last year for a reason. So I don't know. The Steelers need to bring back that smash mouth grinding football, and I think that is what Arthur Smith brings to the run game. So
yeah, I agree with that. And for the most part, I think everything you said was fair. Like Kyle, friend of the show, texted saying, like when it happened, he said he like laughed. He was saying like some long lines of, Steelers go from Matt Canada to Arthur Smith, which is funny just to think about it in that sense. But I told him, I'm like, personally, I think it's okay. Like, I don't think it's great, but I think it's all right for all the reasons you said. Titans offense was pretty good when they had no reason being so. And you think of the makeup of this team, you're probably going to have a pretty mid quarterback. Tannehill was a mid quarterback that had career years, as you said. You're probably going to have a powerful run game, and that's what the Titans had. And the Titans had at the time AJ Brown, and you guys have George Pickens, who could be a physical big play receiver, and now your O-line's good. So like, yeah, that's a pretty good formula. Now, funny though, I saw like a reel on Instagram. It was like Steelers players finding out they hired Arthur Smith. And it's George Pickens, and he's like, "Oh hell no!" And then it's same for like Deontay, and then Najee's like, "Arthur Smith," and then Freiermuth is like, "Damn," and then Darnell Washington is like, "Yes," backup tight ends.
That's but that's as a head coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's not bad, not great. It's not bad. Your options weren't great.
No,
and not at least not that we know.
Yeah, but like I said, I do think we need that. Like I said, I think we need to bring
been there, done that.
That physicality, that grit, that grind, just the pound smash mouth football. So
that Pittsburgh Steeler football.
Najee Harris has been 1,000-yard rusher 3 years in a row. Hopefully, maybe Arthur Smith can.
Feel like
it. No, it doesn't. But that's because it's everyone talks about
1,012.
Everyone just talks about how bad, slow he is, right? Like, well, he is. He's a pound for I'm gonna get you 8 yards.
In 2 rushes. Let's look
under Matt Canada, yeah. Hopefully Arthur Smith is different. So,
yep. Wow, this was his best year in yards per carry. That doesn't feel real either.
It changed though. Like I believe it went up drastically
over the course of the year.
Towards the end of the year, yeah.
Oh, for sure. All right. So overall, neither of us are mad about that. We're not ecstatic, but we're not mad.
No,
that was like
I think it could work out. I think it's a high risk, high reward.
I think it's a mid-risk, mid-reward.
You never know. Najee Harris could bust out 1,500 yards this year.
Okay.
What if we're the Titans?
So is that a high reward for the Steelers now? Is be the Titans?
Be the Titans. Arthur Smith's here, yeah.
So make the playoffs and lose.
As a 1 seed?
And lose.
You know what? We'd be the 1 seed.
It'd feel good for a little while.
And then we'd end up playing like the Dolphins.
Sounds like good.
Dude, if we could get home field advantage, come on.
You guys haven't had that since Nam.
Yeah.
Since Cove.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
If we could get home field advantage, that's a dub. Unless it's like Patrick Mahomes.
You're not beating the Chiefs at home. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
We're moving along past Arthur Smith to the other side, defensive side in Green Bay. Breaking news today, the Packers hire Jeff Haley to be the defense coordinator. If you don't know anything about him, I didn't either until about 2 hours ago. He was a head coach at Boston College. He has been a defensive backs coach in the NFL. I want to say with the Ravens and Browns, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, I personally, all right, you know what, Drake, ask me, am I mad?
Are you mad?
No, no problem at all. Like, not like what the name I was rooting for or anything like that, but I just didn't want it to be Brandon Staley, first of all.
Dude.
Yeah, and I just wanted something new. If it's not gonna be one of the guys that I wanted, I just want something new, not some rerun. Like, I'm tired of the reruns. I want something new in Green Bay.
And I was cracking up when I seen that, and then all I could think about was, dang, he really called it.
Brandon Staley.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I know how LaFleur's mind works. I do.
And that's just that would have been horrible. You got so lucky.
I would have talked myself into it, probably.
You would have.
It would have just been Joe Barry 2.0, really.
100% you would have talked yourself into it.
But then again, I don't know, because I never talked myself into Joe Barry. Like, never.
Whoa. That was terrible.
Awful. Damn it, LaFleur.
Awful. You got to be so happy that you're not in that anymore. Now you got Jeff. Joe to Jeff.
More letters.
All right.
Wow. All right. Well, that's an easy one. At least I'm not mad. Are you mad about? Probably not. You're like, I don't care.
Well, I just didn't know I didn't know that guy ever existed. So
yep, same. So hard to be mad about something like that.
Exactly. Like, I don't know if he's good or not. Like, I think it's good that you're bringing in a new face, though. So
yeah, the face that haunted my nightmares is gone. All right, a face that haunts other people's nightmares. Bill Belichick might not be a head coach in 2024. Are you mad, bro? Sounds like a no.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah. He deserves a spot. Like, it's Bill. But then again, it's like, it's also GM Bill, which I think that's what's kind of not getting him a job anywhere. Is I seen that he told the Falcons that he wants
structural control.
Yes, and that's just not flying these days, man. When you're walking into a new franchise like that.
Yeah.
So, am I mad in general? Yeah, it's Bill. He deserves a job, but I kind of see why he's not getting one.
Yeah, I agree. I get it. I think he just needs a year off, and then someone will be more desperate to make a big move. Just right now, the teams that were desperate weren't in a position to where it made sense.
Yeah.
So I'm mad, but I get it.
I agree. I'm with you.
How about Vrabel? Doesn't look like he's getting a job either.
That one's crazy to me. I'm mad about that one. I think Vrabel's a good coach, man.
I agree.
But then again, is he fitting the culture anywhere? I don't
That's
know,
what
man.
they're saying.
I don't
Like,
know, man.
I commented on like the Vrabel. What was it? I forgot exactly where it was in relation to, but I commented on Seattle's opening maybe with their interview saying that Vrabel should be interviewing. And then some Seahawks fan replied back saying like, hell no. They're like, he will not fit the culture. Like he doesn't, which interesting insight. Like I like fan base's insight when it comes to that sort of stuff because they have a better pulse than we do. And now the follow-up news is that after that move was made, actually even before that move was made, is that teams aren't going the route of like these old school gritty coaches right now. Like they're not. They're going for that Dan Campbell, like everything's going to be all right, man. Like they're going for the Big Lebowski energy. Like that's the new wave. And that's not just in sports, man. That's in business and stuff like that too. It's like uplifting energy. So it makes sense. I get it.
I mean, not everyone responds well to that style of coaching.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to say that those coaches have been left behind, but they've kind of been left behind. We've seen the Patriots' downfall. We've seen the Titans' downfall. I think Andy Reid has a mix of both.
Right.
Tomlin's kind of stuck in that old school coaching style too, and you've seen, we're left behind. Harbaugh can't get over the hump.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Big game Kyle, we're going to see what happens with him this weekend or next weekend. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a shift in the way that people are looking at that sort of thing right now. So I get it. I totally get it. I do think these guys will all get eventually another shot, like in some capacity, because the pendulum always swings to some degree. All of a sudden, some franchise can be like, man, I don't like these coaches. They can't hold people accountable. So, it'll switch again. It always does.
I mean, I think Vrabel will get a job. It just might not be a head coaching job.
Yeah. That would be an interesting thought. Him as a coordinator. Yeah. Overqualified coordinator happens from time to time.
I think he'd be a good DC, but
I think he could be for sure. He certainly could be, but I don't know if someone's going to sign on for that controlling or that demanding of a. I don't mean in a bad way, or that commanding of a presence, like at that coordinator level, like that can threaten most head coaches. Like it would have to be like the Steelers type of a spot, like a Tomlin that absorbed him, like what you guys did with Brian Flores. Like that's about all I see taking that on.
And you know what? Do I miss Brian Flores, man? I'll take Vrabel.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going through the You Mad Bros rapid style, so we get to the dodgeball game today.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson not getting a head coaching job, staying in Detroit.
Love it. Not mad at all. Love it.
I agree.
Absolutely love it.
I agree. I don't want to see him from an NFL standpoint. I don't want to see him break up with the Lions quite yet.
No.
Purdy getting compared to Montana and Brady.
Not like furious at it. I don't think talent wise, but I think tactics wise and similarity wise, not mad. I see it, but
yeah,
he's not going to be in the GOAT conversation probably,
right?
So, unless he wins 6 of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Those comparisons are outrageous unless you're doing the Brady one in the way that I just said it earlier, as far as like, early in his career, managed the game in some capacity, but then when you need something more than that, he can give it to you. So that's the only comparison I would accept. Anyone saying, oh, he's, on that track needs to slow the hell down.
Well, I mean, you know what? You don't know what the career is going to develop into. No, this is how Tom Brady's career started.
Yep.
So you never know. But yeah, like I said, if it's just comparison of tactics and I similarities, then okay. But like, not the next Tom Brady, probably. You never know. At first, it was, Mahomes isn't going to be the next Tom Brady, and now we're 4 Super Bowls deep, and that conversation has started.
Now people are saying he's the Jordan of the NFL. It's fair.
I was going to say, I don't know, man. I mean, he's 6 of 6 and 4 of 6, so.
If he wins this Super Bowl, we'll start having that combo. But we'll get back to that. Last thing on the Super Bowl, Chiefs and Niners Super Bowl again. Are you mad?
It's literally the exact opposite of what I wanted, like the exact opposite. But I'm actually not mad because I think it's going to be a good game for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Good offenses, great run games. I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah. At first, I was definitely like again, and then but it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fresh, but it is different from the last time they played. There's no Tyreek. There's no Jimmy G. Now you've got McCaffrey in there. Now you've got Trent Williams in there. Now you've got a real Deebo Samuel in there, and you've got a Pacheco. So there's new faces. Yeah. So it'll be a good game.
Oh yeah.
Well, we kind of talked about Mahomes, I guess, there already by doing that, but Mahomes being hailed as the GOAT.
He's got to be right there, man. He's the only other person besides Tom Brady that can be in that conversation.
Which is insane.
I know.
Insane. It's crazy.
Like, as much as Rodgers is very talented, Mahomes is the only other person that can be in that conversation.
I know. Damn it, Rodgers. What about Andy Reid? He's starting to float with the GOAT conversation.
He's also the only other coach that could be in that conversation.
Wow. What about that guy?
Who is the GOAT right now?
Belichick.
Andy Reid's the only one that can be in that conversation. To me.
What about Chuck Noll?
Andy Reid is the only one that can be in that. Andy Reid is the only. Andy Reid's about to have 5.
Huh?
4.
Yeah. So that would tie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. I agree though. He's getting there.
Is he right now? Nah.
Nah.
If they win this year, we're going to be talking about Mahomes and Andy Reid in that conversation, and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce will. I feel like those 3 are the only ones that can compete with Gronk, Brady, and Belichick.
Greatest trio in NFL history.
You're saying that now? Or is that a question?
Yes or no?
Are they?
Yep.
I don't know yet. That, like I just said, there's 2 trios, and they're both 1 and 2.
Yep. You're right.
And if they just keep doing what's going on, they are going to be. Because you know what? I don't know. Yep. 1 and 2. I don't know. One's got 6 and one's got probably 4. Might be 4.
No, it would be his third. He's been in 4.
I'm talking about Andy Reid, but that's what I was thinking of. But yeah.
Well, one last thing here as we near that hour mark. Dodgeball. And originally I said, there it is again. Just look at it. Just visualize the ball.
We could just leave that up while we do the draft.
I think we should.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So I originally was thinking 6-on-6. I don't know if there's a standard number. I'm trying to remember from the Dodgeball movie. 6-on-6 sounds right?
Pro Bowl 6.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do 6-on-6. And I was going off of any sport, current player.
Got it.
Okay. You can have first pick. Actually, whoever doesn't get first pick today is probably going to have first pick in our Super Bowl draft next week. So
I don't care, man. I
Rock,
can take
paper,
first.
scissors in
Sure,
live.
if you want to.
One and done on shoot.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You delayed motherfucker. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Good Lord. Rock, paper. Oh, come on. Hold on. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's supposed to be paper, but all right.
All right.
All right. Well, that means, yep.
Well, first pick, I need agility. I need hands.
Oh, God.
I need defense. I need Tyreek Hill.
Damn it. There goes one of my core players that I wanted.
I need Tyreek Hill.
Lord. Dude, there's so many. Give me the man on the screen. Give me Josh Allen, who's just going to be sniping dudes, playing like an absolute madman.
Well, then I'm gonna have to counter you.
Wait. Are we doing snake or no?
Oh, well, it's only 6.
Fine.
If you want snake, go ahead.
There'll be snake next week for sure.
I know.
Super Bowl draft. Nah, we've got more options here. We don't need to.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'm gonna counter you, and I need some tossing too. But you know what? I'm gonna take Corbin Burns.
Oh,
Pitcher.
yeah. I'm surprised you went a baseball route.
I need some tossers.
I'm doing it too, though. I was going to wait till the end because I just didn't think you were going to use a baseball player, honestly.
Hey.
I'm going Shohei Ohtani.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to need another tosser, and I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes.
Well, those are some tossers.
Yep.
Let me just type this down so I don't forget who. All right. So you already took it at, someone with the agility and the hands earlier. So that was my number one for that type of profile, but I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb. I think he can give me some of that.
That's great. Now, agility and a tosser.
Uh-oh. Don't say it.
Lamar Jackson.
Come on. So we just thought of the exact same top players, apparently, because, damn, those are 2 of my top 3 options.
You got to go with them faster then, man.
I know. Well, once you picked baseball, I was like, fuck, I got to get my baseball guy in. All right. Oh, man. Okay, now I got to look to my bench a little bit. Frick. Give me, damn it. Oh my God. You just threw off my whole draft, man.
Dude,
all right.
I don't know how you're even, you know what? I won the draft already. Like, let's just be real.
Oh, is that how you feel? Fine. Give me Justin Jefferson. Jesus. You can catch a few.
So this next pick,
no,
they're gonna be. You're not gonna be able to hit them with a ball, no matter who's throwing it. I think you'll be very familiar with this pick. But a safety for. Are you familiar with Jonathan Owens?
Wow.
I'm gonna take Simone Biles.
Wow. What a pick.
What a pick.
That's
not gonna be able to hit her with the ball. I'm telling you that.
I don't know. I think Josh Allen's gonna get a nice shot.
I don't know, man.
I like the pick though. I like bringing in additional sports than normal. Making me think I need to put in a soccer player so they can bicycle kick. Oh man. Damn. You bastard. I like your team a lot. I kind of like it too much. I don't know how do we shift?
It's a good
How do we shift?
team.
Yeah, it is a good team. Well, give me LeBron, I guess. And he's LeBron. He's gonna be this big ass target, but hey, he's gonna be the smartest guy on the court. He can
That's true.
catch.
He'll be directing. He'll tell,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
look.
And then he might be able to like fake a face shot at some point too, and get a penalty out of it. So
Yeah, true. So I'm gonna need some hands, probably to intercept some of those Josh Allen balls that you think are gonna be thrown. It just all depends which one. I'll take Jalen Ramsey.
all right, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna finish it off by going with a homer pick and taking J Love to deliver some more bombs across the court.
Did you just know that one was gonna be your last pick, like no matter what?
No, I mean, I kept him in my pocket if you took the other quarterback. Like, I didn't expect you to go 2 quarterbacks, Lamar and Mahomes, so quick. So I was a little thrown off by that. You just didn't take the route that I thought you would.
We're building a dodgeball team, man.
No one took Jokic.
Why? So we could just stand there and, you ever seen Big Ben in that drill?
Yeah.
It's all the bags. So Jokic could do that?
He probably would. He could totally be the Big Ben. He is the Big Ben of basketball, I guess.
Probably.
Just this big, clunky dude.
Big yoke.
Somehow athletic at some point.
Somehow just, puts up these insane stats, but,
But looks like he runs a 9-minute mile.
Hey, Mile High City.
Oh, hey. Nice.
You know who was on my list?
Isaiah
Pacheco.
Just you can't hit him either. And he's angry. He shakes the court.
Did you see that he responded to one of the memes that says he runs like he bites people?
What'd he say?
He was just like, man, I don't bite nobody.
Wow.
He said that was one of the funnier ones, but yeah.
That is a funny one. Run like you bite people. What does that even mean?
I don't know, man.
Wow. My other ones were Devontae and Mike Trout and Kelsey. So
the ones who weren't taken were Jamar Chase and Sauce.
I thought Jamar Chase's hands were too suspect.
I didn't know if I wanted Ramsey or Sauce, but
Ramsey's got that dog in him.
Oh yeah, dude. And he talks. So Josh Allen's gonna throw one at.
Stop it.
Corbin Burns and Jalen Ramsey's jumping from the left, and
yeah, that very well could happen. That's why I had to get another gunslinger out there. You can't pay attention to one of them because they're both just going.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan Gannon.
Dude, I've got a pitcher, an ex-pitcher, and Lamar.
I know you drafted a good team. Shouldn't have. Damn it. Whatever.
It's okay. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when they get on the court.
I like that drafting a dodgeball team.
Yeah, a little different. Might have to bring that back again when we get to like slow season, like after the NBA playoffs and stuff.
Or just like drafting anything, Remember when we did that logo draft? That was very fun.
That was very fun. We should do a rerun of that and actually put out the bracket like we said we were.
I agree.
We're better at following promises nowadays.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
When we went like a month straight of, hey, we're going to be on video soon. Not a month straight, 4 months straight.
Soon. It's coming.
And it did.
Here it is. Dude, I'd definitely be down to do another logo draft.
I'd be down. Maybe an NFL one. Mix it up.
Oh, yeah. Because it's just so random, There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Not really, no.
So,
all right. Well, that's a wrap for episode 57, Dodgeball. Drake's Dodgeball team's kicking mine's ass, but it was fun.
it was fun. So you get first pick in the Super Bowl draft.
Mahomes locked in.
That's
Start
fine.
preparing accordingly.
I did that last year.
I know. And then you somehow got Kelsey too. So
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll get there when we get there. But
And it's
that's
Snake. It's Snake next week.
Yeah, it wasn't Snake last year. You're welcome.
Dude, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Well, then we got
it's
a wrap.
You're gonna go what? McCaffrey and Kelsey?
No. Well, it depends on who you take first.
Oh yeah, I'm taking
Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I'm taking Sam Darnold.
Clearly, Brock Purdy is going to be my quarterback because you're not going to let Mahomes slip.
For real.
So, looks like I got some strategic exercises to be doing.
Yeah, you could. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone, as always, for joining in for Dodgeball this week. And as always, make sure to give us a like and subscribe or follow us on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all at Mad Talk Sports. But that's a wrap for today, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Yes, sir.